Hey, let's discuss The Tempest. Hello and welcome to Our Shakespeare, the channel where I talk about Shakespeare from my 21st century American perspective. Today, I want to talk about The Tempest. In particular, I want to talk about the ways in which The Tempest is about the magic of place and the magic of the stage. I don't have a summary of the plot of The Tempest in this video. If that's something that you are interested in or you feel like you need before you watch this video, then what you want to watch is my Shakespeare video, which I will link in the description. That's got a summary as well as the teeniest bit of commentary. So why don't you watch that and come back if you need that summary. And as always, if you enjoy this sort of content, you like what I'm doing, go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel, and go ahead and hit that bell icon if you want to be notified every time I make a new video, which honestly is sometimes even less than once a month. So I promise it won't blow up your notifications. So, The Tempest. And full disclosure, I am particularly interested in The Tempest right now because I recently acted in a production of The Tempest. It was a 6-actor outdoor production in which I played the roles of Caliban, awkwardly pictured here, Alonzo, and Ceres. And if you happen to know the play really well, then you know that it required some really creative editing to make that doubling possible. Also, probably worth mentioning that we had a female Prospero named Prospera in the play, so if I accidentally say Prospera instead of Prospero at any point, that's why, and I apologize. But I digress. Let's talk about the magic of place and the magic of the stage. Now, it will come as a surprise to exactly nobody who knows this play really well that this play treats very strongly on the subject of magic. The play begins with a tempest at sea that's created by magic. Prospero and Ariel use magic throughout the play. The previous occupant of the island was Sycorax, who was herself a magical being. The play is bookended by Prospero using magic and Prospero giving up magic. And while other plays, such as A Midsummer Night's Dream and Macbeth, do make use of magic in substantial ways, in none of Shakespeare's plays is magic as pervasive as it is in The Tempest. And unlike Macbeth, in which magic through witchcraft is portrayed in kind of as a creepy negative influence, or A Midsummer Night's Dream, where it's portrayed as, light-hearted trickery, in The Tempest, it is portrayed as the primary means by which the protagonist rights a wrong. The negative uses of magic are acknowledged in the play in any discussion about Sycorax, but Prospero is our protagonist, and he is using magic for what the play views as justifiable revenge. And so here, the magic is front and center in ways that are unique to Shakespeare's canon. But it's not just characters who use magic in this play. It appears that the island itself has magical properties that both amplify Prospero's abilities, but also provide him with a supply of spirits to command in various magical ways. We see Ariel used this way quite a bit, but other spirits are present as well, such as those that Prospero calls on to torment Caliban, or those that attract Alonzo's company to the banquet before Ariel appears as a harpy. Additionally, there may be something about the magical properties of this island that allowed it to attract magical castaways, such as Sycorax and Prospero. As such, the island kind of straddles the line between setting and character. I can think of no other Shakespeare play in which the setting becomes so much of a character unto itself. A character that, to most of the human characters, is foreign, unsettling, or frightening. For Caliban and Miranda, though, the magic of this place is not foreign to them. Rather, it is the magic of home. And for any of us who have ever felt the nostalgic pull of home after we've been away for some time, the way it looks, the way it smells, the way it sounds, we can attest that there is a special sort of magic even in mundane places. In Act 3, Scene 2, Caliban says of the island the following: "This isle is full of noises, sounds and sweet airs that give delight and hurt not. Sometimes 1,000 twangling instruments will hum about mine ears, and sometime voices, that if I then had waked after long sleep, would make me sleep again. And then, in dreaming, the clouds methought would open and show riches ready to drop upon me, that when I waked, I cried to dream again. In this speech, Caliban is not describing a magical foreign land. He's describing the magic of home. Had I the gift of words that Shakespeare had, I might describe the comforting sounds and familiarity of my small-town childhood home similarly. There is magic in home, magic in any place that provides us comfort or joy. But the magic of the island in The Tempest is also a key driving force in the plot. To be clear, Prospero is not able to put his full plot in motion without the magical attributes of the island and its spirits. A substantial amount of the magic presented in The Tempest is the magic of the island, which Prospero is able to harness. With all of this in mind, I suggest that The Tempest is, in no small measure, about the magic of place. And this idea of the magic of place and the magic of the island becomes extra interesting when we consider Shakespeare's meta-theatricality, both in general and in this play in particular. Now, the English Renaissance theater, in which Shakespeare is just one of many playwrights, is meta-theatrical by its very nature. Its conventions lend itself to drawing the audience's attention to the fact that they are in a theater relying on their imaginations to paint a picture of the world of the play. Chief among those conventions is direct address, in which the characters will give asides and soliloquies directly to the audience, acknowledging the fact that they are both in the same physical space. Shakespeare himself has a history of being even more overtly meta-theatrical than that, drawing additional attention to the artifice of the stage. Take, for example, the chorus at the beginning of Henry V, overtly asking the audience if the stage could possibly hold the majesty of the court and the battle scenes. And the answer is yes. With the aid of the audience's imagination, we can be magically transported to the fields of France. A magic that we audience members are called upon to use any time we are in a theater. The Tempest, though, takes this magic even further. It has long been the subject of scholarly discussion that The Tempest may be Shakespeare's final solo play, and that Prospero represents Shakespeare in many ways. After all, Prospero the character is the writer of much of the plot of The Tempest, using magic to guide people and spirits to his desired end, much like Shakespeare would write the actions of his characters. Additionally, Prospero gives up his book of magic, much like Shakespeare gave up writing shortly after writing this play. And finally, Prospero's powers are substantially amplified by the power of the island and the spirits that it gives him to command. Likewise, Shakespeare's theatrical power is derived from the island of the stage and the spirits that are the actors at his command. I'm going to say that again. Shakespeare's theatrical power is derived from the island that is the stage and the spirits that are the actors at his command. But this connection between the character Prospero and the writer Shakespeare, and the connection between the fictional island and the physical stage, really come to a head at the end of the play. The final moment of the play, when Prospero tells the audience that he will be forever bound to the island unless he is released by means of the audience's applause. That moment of applause in a live play, the curtain call, is the moment when the magic spell of the audience's imagination or their suspension of disbelief ends and the tedious monotony of the real world begins. It's the moment when we as audience members drop the notion that the people on stage are characters and we see them instead as performers. The magic present in The Tempest is about more than the spells that Prospero casts. It's about the magic of theater, the magic of a shared imaginative experience. And as I record this video in September of 2021, in the midst of a continuing global pandemic that has severely limited theatrical performance for over a year and a half, I feel the need of that magic now more than ever. Thanks for watching today. If you have any questions or comments about The Tempest or my take on it, feel free to leave a comment and I'll reply as quickly as I can. And if you enjoy what I'm doing here with this channel, go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, click that little bell icon, and check out a few more of my videos if you're interested in that. Thanks again for watching. Fare you well. I commend you to your own content.